Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to another LEGO Fortnite video here on the channel. Now, today we have a lot to talk about in terms of the fact that LEGO Fortnite is no longer simply called LEGO Fortnite and is now LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. This is because the LEGO Fortnite name is expanding to new game modes, which we will come on to soon, with one of those game modes releasing on Thursday, so I will be doing a video on that, so make sure to stay tuned for that video. But for now, we have a trailer for LEGO Fortnite Odyssey's new update, bringing the Storm Chasers update, with a brand new village, a brand new biome, and a very long-awaited boss fight. As I'm sure you can tell right here, it is all themed around the storm, with the new boss being none other than the Storm King himself. So, we're not probably going to take on the Storm King in this video, I will be perfectly honest, but there are a lot of new changes and a lot of new features, including a brand new LEGO pass, the first one of its kind being a single tracked pass, progressed only by XP. The previous pass obviously was progressible by XP, but originally started off as studs. So this is the first in the brand new LEGO pass styles. So what we need to do first of all, before we get into any of this, is we're actually starting up a new world. Now the reason for this is simply because we have a new quest that requires us to do so, because there will be new camps and new things established, such as here we have our Storm Survivor Camp, led by the one and only Trace. So he's gonna want us to get started on making all of this stuff. It's basically just setting up a normal base, like always. So I'll be back with some progress updates as we complete more things, but effectively for now, we're just going to start establishing a little bit of a base here, which is going to be interesting because obviously this will then lead us towards the storm itself. So one thing that is very noteworthy in this update is the changes to crafting, things like axes, machetes, and all of those sorts of things. You no longer just go in and create a grey axe the way you used to. This time you can now change the materials for the head or the handle, and you can almost be more modular with how you make things. I could create a wooden handled axe with basic wood, so it's not very durable, but then have gold for the head, for example, meaning it's not very durable, but it is highly damaging. So you can be a little bit more flexible in the way that you craft things now, which might lead to people playing the game a little bit differently. One other thing that I think a lot of people are going to be very happy about with this update is the change to the inventory. That's right, you've now got even more inventory slots, which I know a lot of people will be very happy to hear. One other thing to mention then is the new journal in your inventory sort of area. If you go over to the journal, it talks about things that are sort of story in-game related, where you're progressing certain camps, such as right now I'm progressing the Storm Survivor camp. So let's continue. So folks, we've ventured deep into the desert, and here you can see a little logo that looks like a Save the World storm shield. Now we're going to enter this place, because this is your Storm Chasers base camp. So this is very much to do with the update again. This is the other type of village you can have. So you have the Storm Survivor camp, which you can only get in a new world, and then Storm Chaser's base camp, which can be found in any world as like a new area. And this one is run by Carl Ruckus. So let's speak to him, because he will tell us about how we are here to stop the Storm King. Now, the only way that you can reach the Storm King is by unlocking this new thing called the Tempest Gateway. And someone or something has locked up the gateway. So, wow, he wants a lot of stuff very quickly. For this, just to get this one up to level 2, you've already got to collect blast cores, you've got to build a metal smelter, and you've got to build a cannon, just to get the base up to level 2. Just because, you know, it wasn't already hard enough to get bases up high level. They're just going to make this one even higher level. Because why not? I don't think it should be awful, but this might be a base that you leave until you're a little bit later in the game. So folks, continuing a little bit further past the Storm Chaser's base camp, you will notice in the distance the storm itself. And when I say in the distance, I do mean pretty far. What it shows us originally is just a lot of dark storm clouds in the distance. How far? I think probably about 1,500 meters further. So that does mean from our original village where we spawned, you're talking about 2,500 to 3,000 meters. Which, if you're doing it like me, early game just trying to run there, it's probably a bit stupid. But we're going to try and see if we can make our way over to it. And if so, if we can have a little look around without dying instantly. I feel like that's probably a death wish, but we will see if we ever make it there. So folks, we've already got just over a kilometre away from the Storm Chaser's base camp, and now we can get a proper first glimpse of that storm area. As you can see, you have the big clouds above with the sort of pinky purple centre, very reminiscent of Save the World, very much Storm King vibe, but you can also see around the edge all these jagged rocks and the sort of pinky purple storm effect on them. So, let's try and continue to make our way over there. I have just noticed this bus station down here though, so if I die I can just get the bus back over here and we can try and visit it that way. So folks, here we are, roughly 1.5 kilometres away from the Storm Chaser's camp. This is the storm. And as you can see, it's very much dark, chaotic, very, very hostile environment. And as you get further inwards, you actually cross into the area. Storm energy rages all around you. Oh wow, you constantly take damage over time. Oh my god, wow. So you take damage over time, there's cube monster spawners, the cube monsters deal a lot of damage. It's a very hostile area to go. Obviously, this is a brand new world for me, I probably shouldn't be going over somewhere like that this early. But that being said, I don't know how much you're going to need to take to feel comfortable there, because that was incredibly hostile. So keep that in mind if you head over to the storm areas. So anyway guys, here we are back at the Storm Survivor camp. All you have to do to get up to level 3 is basically collect a wolf claw, make a pickaxe, eat a raspberry, dodge. Then to get it up to level 4, which is what you need it for the weekly quest, you just got to gather a lot of granite and make a stone breaker before then crafting your first uncommon sword. So, let's get straight to it. So, it seems we've now reached a point where things are starting to get a little bit different to how they used to be. For example, to craft an uncommon sword, you are going to need a stone blade. So to do that, you're going to need granite slabs to be able to make yourself a green tier sword. So with the new component building, it does allow for more variation, but it also means that if you're used to the old system, it might be a little bit different now. So if ever you are going into craft things, just double check that you now know the new requirements that you will need to build something, because it is not what it used to be. So just make sure you don't get caught out by that. So just like that, you build the sword and you actually get the Storm Survivor camp up to max. This camp only goes to level 4. So that is that for that quest, obviously. From here on, you now go off and explore however you like. Obviously, some people will build up around here and build a main base here. I think my main base on this one I will probably do over at the Storm Chasers camp rather than the Storm Survivor camp, just because the Storm Chasers camp is already pretty built up, pretty well fortified. So I feel like that is sort of one of those bases that you will do just purely for the quest, and then a lot of people are going to ignore it after that. I mean, now though, because of the bus stations, I guess I can head directly over to the Storm area. We can also use your Rebel outpost. You can also build up a Lost Isles base or a couple of villages. I think now, if you make a new world, you can very much put a lot of time into it. I think this was the problem that LEGO Fortnite had when it first released, and now the problem that it doesn't really have so much is that when it first released, this game mode still had a lot of things to be added to it, whereas now so much has been added to it, there is so much content that arguably it feels and plays much better than it did. So I guess we'll go and have a little look at this area one more time, but knowing that I probably will die in the process, so this is probably not the smartest thing to be doing. I mean, you can always have a little look at these storm critter guys. Oh my god, okay, they did a lot of damage. I've not even entered the storm area and that guy's just dealt 4.5 hearts worth of damage to me in one shot. This is definitely end game content, I'll give them that. Yeah, I feel like you just shouldn't be going towards the storm until a lot later. You really do need to be built up. So that's my thoughts on that part. So one thing I have done, I've quickly come into my Lost Isles world because this is one I actually did try and put effort into. The new thing, Legendary Forge, allows you to upgrade epic items to legendary status, which is the new feature. To build one of these, though, it requires a lot of new things. So 5 Rift Shards, as a lot of people know, those are already quite hard to get. 6 Cut Ruby, 8 Iron Bar, not too hard, and then finally 3 Rift Crystals. I'm fairly certain you can only get those from the Storm King boss fight. But I'm not entirely sure, so do not quote me entirely on that. But yeah, it's interesting to see the way that spears and pickaxes and axes look now because of the fact that they're more modular. So they do have this new look to them, as you can see. But yeah, when you're in worlds like this now, you might notice certain things looking a bit different to how they used to. So let's get to it. In fact, this has been a long video and I don't want to spoil everything for you. So you know what? Go into LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, and check out the rest of it for yourself. But with all that said in mind, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it informative, enjoyable, and fun to watch as always. And I'll see you all in the next one.